What's up, rock stars? Coach Betty Rocker here. Welcome to today's full body workout. We are doing one of my favorite formats, which is ladders. So this is kind of going to be like strength, endurance, a little bit of everything in a really efficient workout that you can do either from home. We could even take it to the gym. You're going to need a little space to move. I've got my assorted weighted objects. I'm using dumbbells. I have a nice collection at home. If you are working on building up your collection at home, that's great. If you don't have everything you think you'll need, as far as like amounts of weight, you could always use household props like water bottles, water jugs, laundry jugs, anything around that you can hold on to use as extra props. Those can come in handy. I'm also going to be using my ottoman from my living room today to help me have some elevated surface balancing availability. We'll need that for our very first move. So make sure that you're next to a bench or your couch or any elevated surface. I'd like it to be about knee height, perhaps. That would be a good ideal surface to start with. So we're gonna go right ahead and get right into this, warming up our glutes and core. So go ahead and brace your back up against your elevated surface, and you want it to be the corner of the elevated surface to be touching about the bottom of your scapula or your shoulder blades. From here, we'll just go ahead and come on up into reverse tabletop, squeezing through the glutes. I want you to check in with the position of your feet. If you feel strain in your knees, your feet are probably in a little bit too close to your seat. Go ahead and walk them out a little ways so that you have a nice 90-degree bend. It's always helpful to have something to look at yourself in, a mirror perhaps that you can check your form in. You can get a cheap full-length mirror and put it in the space that you work out. Always a good idea. Join me as I begin warming up my glutes, hamstrings, and core. I've got my hands on my hips just for balance to brace myself, and I'm squeezing my glutes at the top with a little bit of a pause. And then once I feel stable and comfortable here, I'm gonna just walk my right foot in slightly closer to the midline of my body and extend out with my left leg. And now I'm gonna lift up, keeping my hips super level, so I'm not gonna let that left straight leg drag my left hip over to the side. If you're finding that this is just too much, or you're unable to balance or stabilize, put both feet down and work on building strength in the glutes with that double leg lift. If you're doing the single leg lift, you're gonna really be bracing that core. You're welcome to put your hands behind your head for some additional support as needed. Last one, let's switch to the other leg. Extend out with the right leg. Make sure that that left foot is braced, and we're lifting straight up, feeling your left glute and your left hamstrings doing the work. Nice work. Come on, let's go. We're gonna do about 4 more on this side. You had a nice little warm up. Now get used to this movement. We're gonna do a lot of these today because we're gonna come down each rung of our ladder and repeat this bottom rung every time. So don't feel like you have to start right out of the gate with like adding a lot of extra resistance to your lap right away. We're gonna build on that, and we're gonna have plenty of opportunities to practice. Great job. Let's go ahead and work some more of our back now. I'm gonna get right into some swimmers, which are an amazing move for strengthening the paraspinal muscles that run up and down your spine, helping you stay upright and have good posture. Come right onto your stomach and extend your arms, extend your legs. From here, go ahead and start, just keep your body, your torso down on the mat, and just kick your legs, so your legs will be straight. I want you to really focus on your core and being very strong and stable here. Don't have an arched back. Once you feel comfortable here, go ahead and get your arms into this motion. If you find it's too much strain or it's too hard to do this, you can tent your hands and keep them right below your shoulders, or alternately you can do some with just your legs and some with just your arms if it's challenging to put them together. So just listen to your body. Try it out. And we're gonna do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Press yourself back up to tabletop, and we're gonna come around and do another set of those single leg hip thrusters. Moving right through this. You have the option, of course, to put a weighted object across your lap in this position, or you can stick with body weight. Totally up to you. Just like before, I'm gonna set myself up for success, doing a couple with both feet down on the ground, just checking my alignment. And then I'll walk my right foot in slightly, And then I'm gonna lift my hips up and lower down, making sure that I'm keeping my left hip from sagging down or my pelvis from tilting. I'm gonna keep a nice flat pelvis, keeping the core engaged, really pressing down through the heel as you lift up with your hips. Nice job. Last 3, 2, 1 more, and we'll switch to the other leg. Straighten out that right leg. Make sure that you have a nice stable and supported base with that left foot. Lift, squeeze your glutes at the top. Nice work. Come on, let's go. We're gonna be doing a bunch of these, like I said. You can do it. We're gonna have such a good booty and hamstring workout today, along with all of the other amazing moves that we're getting into to support your entire body. I would say that I may have focused a little bit on posterior chain in this workout, last one, just because I really love, in the programs I write and the challenges I create in Rock Your Life, to make sure that your posture and alignment are sound. And I feel that because our modern life has us doing so many tasks in front of us, everything from driving to reading to looking at the phone to the habitual, sort of seated postures we're in so chronically, it's essential to be really mindfully doing more posterior chain type movements and exercises in your routine. Perhaps even a bit more focus on the posterior chain in your workouts than you're doing forward push movements. It's not that you shouldn't be training those activities, you absolutely should, but if you've taken my Foundations of Functional Fitness workshop, you know how important and how much emphasis I place on really bringing balance into the body. So we have to think about the things that we do in our day-to-day life and think about how we're training so that we can counterbalance some of those. Now we are gonna work the chest right now, but we're gonna complement it with some back strength. So I'm gonna grab my weighted objects and put them sort of on the inside of where my push-up is gonna be. Let's go ahead and get into our push-up form, and you can take either a kneeling variation for this, or you can do it up on your toes. And you're gonna give me 2 push-ups, good. Then you're gonna pause, and you're gonna give me 2 rows each arm. So hold that strong plank form. You might wanna widen out your feet like I just did to help give me a stable, balanced position. We're gonna do 2 push-ups. Remember, you can do this kneeling, and 2 rows. Keeping those hips low and level, not allowing them to raise up. Great job. We're just gonna do 5 total rounds here, giving you 10 reps on each side. Great job. Row, 2 times on each arm. Restabilize, reset. 2 push-ups, 2 rows. Work to keep your hips nice and stable and secure in your row. Don't let your hips lift. Last one. 1, 2, and row. 1, 2. Last set. Keep your gaze in front of you. Don't look down or up. And nice job. We're gonna come right back into our swimmers and work some more posterior chain. So go ahead and lay your body all the way down on your mat. Extend your arms, extend your legs. And we'll begin with that motion again. Remember the options I showed you the first time we did this? You can isolate your legs or just your arms. Keep breathing. Excellent work. Come on, you're halfway through this set. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on up to tabletop. And we're gonna come right into our 3rd set of those single leg hip thrusts. So get your back elevated and situated up against your elevated surface. And once again, you have the option to put some type of resistance across your lap. Now, I know some of you overachievers, you may have an amount of resistance that you can do single leg hip thrusts with. It might be like a lot heavier than what I'm inviting you to use today, because this is endurance. You've got a lot of rounds of these to get through. So this is part of the practice of just getting used to working with resistance. Resistance training, doing this without any weight at all, gravity here is helping me to resist. As you start to develop more strength, your body will adapt to the challenge of the body weight movement, and you will want to add a little bit more resistance. You can go from dumbbells all the way up to barbells. There's lots of different ways to challenge your body. I really love the variety of challenges and workouts in Rock Your Life for just this reason. It's gonna keep your body constantly having to adapt to different things, and it's gonna meet you where you're at. Let's switch to the other leg. Drop it down, lift up, nice, stable, and balanced pelvis. Excellent, excellent work, rock stars. Come on, lift, squeeze at the glute. Keep those hips level. Keep your core braced. Beautiful work. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Amazing job. All right, we're gonna go to our next rung of the ladder. Go ahead and have a breather, have some water. Maybe you're drinking some Rock and Restore like I am, replenishing the aminos in my system with an optimal dose of leucine, the most anabolic of the BCAAs. That's right, my essential amino acid formula contains all the BCAAs. And you get the bonus full spectrum of essential amino acids as well to support your brain health, your immune system health, your hormone and enzyme function, very important, and of course, muscle protein synthesis. That's why we included that optimal dose of leucine in here for you. So it's a great thing to drink during your workouts. It's not enough to just drink this because there's no they're in free form, right? They go straight to the muscles. So you really should make sure that you're coming to your workout fueled. You're fueling after your workout, within a reasonable time frame, especially post-workout for us ladies. It's 30 to 45 minute window is optimal for us. Helps keep your insulin nice and stable. Make sure that the glucose that you take in post-workout from the complex carbohydrates you're eating goes straight into the muscle glycogen stores. That's an optimal window to be getting your carbs and of course your complete proteins in post-workout. I like to come to a workout fueled as well. So just make sure you're really paying attention to fueling around your workouts. If you are limiting or going down in portions at some point in the day, make sure that's not around your workout. We really, as women, want to be optimizing our ability to push hard in these workouts. As you can see, when I chat a little bit, it's because I need a little breather. I'm listening to my body, okay? That's what I'm doing here. All right, sumo squats. Next move, sumo squats. If you'd like to go heavier for this sumo squats, we're only going to be doing about 3 rounds of sumo squats today. So feel free, if you have a home gym and you're like, normally I do barbell sumo squats, feel free to set that up and do sumo squats with heavier weights. I'm going to use my dumbbells. I'm just going to grab some heavier ones. That's what I have handy. I'm going to go ahead and put them up on my shoulders because that feels nice and supportive. Stepping the feet out wide, bracing the core, sending the hips straight back as if I were sitting down into a chair without losing the position of my torso. So my knees go out in line with my toes, the core remains braced, and as I come up, I'm squeezing the glutes. Now imagine you're wearing a crown on your head, and as you squat it down, the crown stays perfectly in position. We're not bending forward at the waist as we squat. And what you may notice is that it's hard to go super deep in your squat or even to 90 degrees with your knees without bending super far forward. If that's the case, I want you to really work on tapping your butt down to something behind you to give you that cue of where you can be in space, because this is going to help you activate your glutes way more than if you're bending forward. It's also going to protect your back, especially if you're holding any resistance or weight at all. Last 2 for me. Last one. Great job. Go ahead and set aside your weighted objects, and we're going to come back into our double renegade row with push-ups. You really only need 1 weighted object in the center because you can only row with 1 arm at a time. So get yourself set up with your weighted object that you're planning to use right in the center of your mat. If you're lifting a water bottle, you could set the water bottle down here and lift it up as well, because it's not like you have to hold it while you're doing your push-ups or anything. So I'm going to set myself up for the push-ups. Kneeling, we're on the toes, and we're going to do 2 push-ups. and then we're gonna do 2 rows. So I'm gonna widen my feet, and I'm gonna do 2 rows, pulling my elbows straight up and back. As I plant the other hand down, I'm just making sure that I have a nice balance underneath me, that my hand is stacked below the shoulder of the arm that's down by itself, supporting all of my body weight. Good job. Do 2 push-ups again, and 2 rows. Great work. Keep your back nice and flat. Keep your core braced. Keep your gaze neutral. Don't look down or up. Come on. Great work. I'm gonna do 1 more. 2 push-ups. Last 2 rows on each side. Done. Awesome work. Ready for some swimmers? Let's come right into that forward position on your stomach. Extend your arms, extend your legs, and begin swimming again. Great job. Come on, move those arms, move those legs. Think about the strength in the back side of your body and how that helps keep your head and neck erect, how it helps keep your shoulders back and down where they belong, because those muscles are getting stronger. The muscles alongside of your spine, your glutes, your hamstrings, all of those complement the front and side body muscles. Last 2, last 1. Whew. Great work. Moving into single leg hip thrust. So again, you're doing amazing. I'm going to use a fairly light amount of resistance for this. This is our 4th set. Still have more to go. Get in position. Do a couple of quick check-ins to make sure your feet are in the right spot. And you can extend your leg, brace through the foot that's down, lift and extend. Lift and extend. Keep those hips nice and level. Press down through the heel. Keep breathing. Let's do 3 and 2. Last 1. Switch to the other side. Brace that foot down and lift and press. Excellent work. Come on. So strong. So powerful. Strong hips, strong glutes. Last 3, 2, last 1. Lower it down. We're going up to rung 5 of the ladder. So another back strengthening move. I told you it was a posterior chain focused day. All right, gonna grab quick rehydration, refuel. Whew. Reverse flies. This move is where we hold a couple of weighted objects and we fly them out to the side as if we were a bird, flapping our big, beautiful wings, okay? So we have lots of majestic references, right? You've got the crown, you've got the royal wings. I mean, you're a queen. This is why we get to work out together, is because we value ourselves, we value our bodies, we value our health and wellness, and we take the time to care for ourselves. That's why I like these majestic references, because we deserve them. Let's stand with our feet about hip distance apart. Bring your shoulders back and down as if they were up against a wall. Brace your core. Hinge your hips back, keeping your back straight. Do not arch it. From here, arms fly out to the side. Fly out to the side. Feel the muscles between your back, working, engaging. Keep your core braced. Keep breathing. You can do 8 to 12 reps here. Last one for me. Feel free to do more reps than me here. Feel free to stop before me. Whew. That felt fun. When you're done, go ahead and bend down, bending your knees to set down your weights. Always bend the knees to set the weights down to protect the back. And then we will do another set of sumo squats. Feel free to add more weight this round if you found that it was too light the last time, or you were like, I could have done way more than what you showed. Yeah, that's a good sign. Your body could take a little bit more resistance. So go ahead and stack it up. Get ready, step your feet out nice and wide. Remember the cues that I shared last time, core braced. We're wearing our crown. We're sending the hips straight back as if we were sitting down to a chair with knees out wide, knees tracking in line with the toes. Body goes straight down, comes straight up. Great job. And this will develop and strengthen your posterior chain big time. So if you're finding it's just really hard and you're falling forward, get rid of the weight, get rid of the resistance. Hold on to the wall, brace yourself. Work on developing the mobility and strength in your posterior chain before adding resistance. I think a strong functional base really serves us all so well as we go through life and as we go through time. I didn't start out lifting weights. I started out with body weight moves. And that's a great way to build the strength and teach your body correct form. Last one. Whew. Do what you can with what you have. And also keep in mind that throughout the course of your cycle, if you're having a regular cycle still, you'll have some days where going hard or heavy is not advisable, right? For instance, that week just before you get your period, it's essential to back off on your training. Your body is preparing for menstruation, and we have heightened inflammation in our system. We do after ovulation, we do in general. So you want to, after you ovulate, just start to taper off how hard and heavy you feel like you're going. Right until just before your period, usually you're going to feel more tired. You might have some of those PMS symptoms. And that's a good time to just do more yoga, low impact, less intensity. Because once you get your period again, your estrogen levels are going to come back up. And when we're having a regular cycle, estrogen is very anabolic. It helps us build muscle. So in that first half of the cycle, that's when we can go super hard and really push it. So just be aware that you have this cycling ability. And if you're in peri or postmenopause, work on building your strength so that you can go heavier, because as we get into that transition into that other half of our amazing female life cycle, that's when we actually want to do different strategies to maximize our muscle building and fat burning potential. We want to really start to lift heavier than we were in the past, start to build that base, that foundation up, challenge your body to adapt around the fact that we no longer have the cycling estrogen progesterone. Did you catch me once again needing a break? You did. I wanted to get that break because we've got another set of those double Renegade row to push-ups. And if you have more questions about cycle training, I've got an amazing article on the blog, Training with Your Cycle. It's a guide, plus there's a 2-part series with me and the amazing Dr. Stacy Sims, walking you through how to do all of these things for any stage of the life cycle. So I want you to have these resources. You can adapt any of my training programs, any Rock Your Life Challenge using these principles. You'll be empowered to work with your amazing body. Whew. Okay. Double Renegade row to push-ups. Here we go. We're gonna start out with the 2 push-ups, and I've been kind of playing around with where the weight is so that I can actually get my chest lower to the mat. You probably were watching me do that and wondering what I was doing. I was realizing I didn't really mention it. So I'm gonna step my arms out to a good position that feels secure, and then I'm gonna do my 2 push-ups, keeping the core braced. Then I'm going to grab my weighted objects, widen my feet for more stability, and do 2 rows. Right arm, then left. Maybe you started with your left arm, that's fine. I'm going to move that weighted object out of the way. 2 more push-ups. And again, 2 rows each side. Now, I can feel my hips shifting a little side to side. I did go up in resistance this round. It is harder. The hips are shifting, but I'm utilizing those counter rotation muscles in my core to prevent me from going any farther. So just work with your body. It should be challenging. 2 push-ups, 2 rows. Kneeling or on your toes, both are gonna be fine. 1 last set of push-ups, come on. 1 and 2, last set of rows. 1 2. Last set. 1, 2. Move the prop off to the side. Coming into our swimmers. Ooh, I'm feeling it. I am sweating. This is a low impact workout, but it is tough. You see I have dog hair all over me today. Bodhi had a dog friend over and he shed everywhere. I'm sure I'm not the only one who wears black pants, black workout pants, and has dog fur or cat fur all over them when they're training, right? Oh my gosh, the joys of working out at home. I really do love to have that option. Extend your arms, extend your legs. We're gonna do another set of swimmers. Here we go. Let's kick and paddle. Come on, lift up. Keep your gaze neutral. Try not to crank your neck up or down with any of your moves. Think about a nice neutral spine. Paddle, 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 paddle. Come on. Breathe. You're more than halfway done with this set. Great job. Come on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way up. Hip thrusters. I love it when we get to the bottom rung of the ladder again. Such an accomplishment. Let's go ahead and grab a weighted object to put across our lap. Just gonna move some stuff out of the way. Okay, are you ready? Woo! Balance your back up against your elevated surface. Go ahead and do 1 or 2 hip raises with both feet on the ground just to check your position and alignment. And then lift and squeeze. So strong, come on. You're coming into the final part of this workout. You've come so far, you've done so much, and you're almost done. You'll be able to feel so accomplished at the end of this workout. Last 2, last 1, switch to the other side, bracing through the foot, lifting up, pressing up. Excellent work. Come on, go for it. You got this. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Amazing work. Come right back up onto your feet. Step your feet out wide on your mat. Clear some space. And then start bending opposite knees as you reach your hand across to that opposite foot. Really simple. It's kind of a mobility move, but it's also sort of like a slow skater. Good. Just side to side. Digging in, bending the knee, feeling your hips open, feeling your legs open, feeling your hamstrings and inner thighs. Nice little dynamic stretch here. Great job. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Reverse flies. Go ahead and grab your weighted objects. Stand tall, shoulders back and down as if they were up against a wall. Brace your core, hinge the hips back. Fly those arms, you majestic creature. Let's go. Keep breathing, keep that core braced. You got this. This is the last set. 8 to 12. That was it for me. I got right to the end of my end feel pretty fast. Feel free to do more reps than me. Catch your breath. We'll move into our last set of sumo squats. Once again, feel free to add more resistance to this powerful move for your glutes. I'm feeling pretty solid with what I chose today. I'm gonna put them up on my shoulders, stepping the feet out wide, bracing the core, send the hips back, powerfully drive up through the glutes, keeping that crown on tall. Don't let it pitch forward. Feel your back staying straight. Feel your core staying engaged. Feel your knees tracking in line with your toes. Great job. You're working the outside of your glutes, you're working your inner thighs, and you're working your core. And of course your back. Lots of muscles helping you get this weight up and down. Feel free to stop when you feel like you're at the end of the reps you can do with good form. I've got 2 left for me. Last one. Whew. Bending the knees to set down the weighted objects. Placing the weighted object you want to use for your Renegade rows in the center of the upper portion of your mat. And then join me in a plank position. Kneeling plank or plank on your toes. 2 push-ups. Come on, 1, 2, and then widen your feet for a little bit more stability. 2 rows each arm. 1, 2. Moving the resistance out of the way. 2 push-ups. Back to 2 rows. 1, 2, 1, and 2. 2 push-ups. 1, 2. This is your last set of these. I know it's probably felt super challenging. I'm right there with you. Come on. 1 and 2. 2 rows. 1, 2. Last set. 1, 2. Lower the knees. Brilliant work. Set that out of the way. Last set of swimmers. Come on down to the mat. Lower all the way down. All right. Extend your arms, extend your legs, and swim. Swim the arms up and down. You got this. So good. Yes, come on. Just about 10 more seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, what an accomplishment. We have one final rung of the ladder to do. Let's go ahead and brace our back up against our elevated surface. Go ahead and grab some resistance to put across your lap. Get yourself in position. Anytime, if I go a little too fast, you need a little bit more rest. Be my guest. Just push pause on the video. This is your workout, your time. Send your hips up, squeeze, do a test. Make sure with both feet down, you're in a good position. Then I'm gonna extend out with my right leg, lifting up, squeezing through my glutes. Great job. Lift and squeeze. So good. This is your final push. This is the last move of the workout. I know your glutes are tired. You've come such a long way. Do your best. You can drop the resistance off to the side just to finish it up strong. Switch to the other leg when you're ready here. And we're gonna do our last few on our right leg. Come on, Rockstar, you got this. So strong, so powerful. Remember why you showed up for this today. Last 2, last 1. Oh my goodness, relax your hips down. Set the weight off to the side. That was just so much fun. Now, if you're a member of Rock Your Life, you'll find that I've linked to the perfect cool down stretch just below this video in the members area. We have a whole section of cool down and warm up stretching videos, as well as mobility videos, bar classes, circuits like this, strength training, heavy lifting, heavy weight training with resistance, with heavy weights. We have no equipment workouts. We have the entire spectrum in our home gym in Rock Your Life. And I would love for you to be able to take advantage of that. This particular workout that you just did is a part of a challenge series, actually. So there's an amazing challenge series called Body Rock inside of Rock Your Life, and this workout comes from that challenge. So what is really great about following a plan is that someone has taken the time to write the workout sequences and the exact moves that will get you the best results in the most balanced manner, so that you're not overtraining the same muscle groups on consecutive days, actually degrading your ability to build muscle and burn body fat. Because when we overtrain, we end up in an overly inflamed system in our body, and we don't put on as much muscle because we're constantly breaking the muscle down rather than allowing us proper rest to build it back up. And also with elevated cortisol in our system, we're storing more body fat. With elevated inflammation in our body, we're not giving the body the opportunity to burn body fat. So just be really aware that it's ideal to follow a plan. follow a program. And with my balanced Rock Your Life 30-day challenge programs, along with the guidance and support in the Rock Your Life private group, which you'll have access to as a Rock Your Life member, you will have the best of everything that you will need to really get the best results over time, not overnight. I'm not about some quick fix. I'm about sustainable, healthy lifestyle training holistically. So we're thinking about the 4 pillars of health, because you're a whole person. If I'm treating you like a queen, I'm not just gonna give you like some quick fix workout, because there is no such thing. I'm gonna give you the truth. I wanna educate you about your body, and I wanna help you be as empowered as possible so that you can not just feel great today, but feel great for the rest of your life. That's what the Betty Rocker brand is all about, and that's why I created Rock Your Life, because I'm not just gonna rock your body, this is gonna rock your entire life. So join us. New members can get a 30-day trial anytime to join us, check it out, take an entire 30-day challenge in that time, and really soak up all the goodness that will surround you in our program. I'm Betty Rocker. You are so awesome and amazing. I look forward to seeing you in Rock Your Life. Talk to you real soon.